Annabelle did not begin as something monstrous. There was no curse announced, no warning carved into wood, no scream to signal her arrival. She began as an ordinary object in an ordinary apartment. In the early 1970s, a young nursing student named Donna lived in a small rented apartment in Connecticut. Her days followed a strict rhythm: morning classes, long hospital shifts, late nights memorizing procedures, terminology, and anatomy under weak yellow lamps. The apartment was small but comfortable. Nothing about it felt unusual. On her birthday, Donna's mother arrived carrying a wrapped box. Inside was a Raggedy Ann doll. Soft cloth body, bright red yarn hair, a permanent stitch smile that never changed. It was meant to be decorative, something cheerful, something comforting. Donna placed the doll on her bed, propped against a pillow, and thought nothing more of it. For several days, life continued normally. Then one afternoon, Donna returned from class and froze in the doorway of her bedroom. The doll was no longer upright. It lay flat on its back, arms at its sides. Donna stared at it, confused but unconcerned. She assumed she had forgotten how she left it. She stood it back up and went on with her evening. The next morning, the doll was sitting on the couch. Donna asked her roommate, Angie, if she had moved it. Angie said no, she hadn't even entered Donna's room. They laughed about it, blamed stress, blamed exhaustion. But the doll continued to move, not violently, not dramatically, just enough to be noticed. Each time, it appeared in a position that required intention, sitting upright, leaning against walls, balanced on chairs. Positions a soft cloth doll should not hold on its own. Days passed. The unease grew. Then the notes appeared. Small pieces of parchment paper were found scattered around the apartment, on the floor, on the table, inside drawers, written in childish handwriting. Help us. Help Lou. Donna and Angie searched the apartment. Neither owned parchment paper. Neither knew where it came from. The handwriting did not belong to either of them. The air inside the apartment began to feel wrong, thick, heavy. The temperature dropped unpredictably. Cold spots appeared in rooms without open windows or drafts. At night, Donna felt watched, not imagined, not emotional. It was a physical sensation, the unmistakable awareness of presence. Angie admitted she felt it too. They contacted a medium. The seance was held in the living room. Candles flickered without wind. The medium fell silent, then spoke. A spirit was present. A little girl. Her name, the medium said, was Annabelle Higgins. According to the spirit, she had died years earlier on the land where the apartment building stood. She claimed she was lonely. She wanted companionship. She wanted to feel loved. The medium said the spirit was harmless. Donna felt pity. She spoke aloud, granting permission for the spirit to stay. That moment marked the end of subtlety. The doll's movements became frequent, aggressive. Furniture shifted. Doors opened and closed on their own. Lights flickered without explanation. At night, scratching sounds came from inside the walls. Dragging noises followed, slow and deliberate, as if something heavy was being pulled across the floor. Sleep became fragmented, shallow, restless. Donna began waking up with bruises on her arms and legs. Round, finger-shaped marks she could not explain. Angie experienced the same. They stopped inviting people over. The apartment felt hostile, unwelcoming. Lou, a close friend of Donna's, was the first outsider to sense something was wrong. The moment he entered the apartment, his body reacted. A tightening in his chest, a pressure behind his eyes. He said the doll made him uncomfortable, that it felt wrong, that it didn't belong there. Donna dismissed him. One afternoon, Lou openly mocked the doll. He laughed, called it ridiculous, said there was no way a toy could be dangerous. That night, Lou woke unable to move. His chest felt crushed. Air would not fill his lungs. Panic surged. Then he saw it. The doll was on his chest. Its cloth hands pressed against his throat. The pressure increased. Lou tried to scream. No sound came out. The room darkened. His vision blurred. A ringing filled his ears. He felt something breathing inches from his face. Then nothing. Later that day, Lou discovered 7 deep scratch marks across his chest. Perfectly parallel, perfectly even. They burned, they bled. Doctors could not explain them. Within days, the scratches vanished completely. Donna could no longer deny what was happening, then contacted Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Warrens arrived and immediately sensed something was wrong. Lorraine refused to touch the doll. She said it radiated manipulation, deception. She spoke plainly. There was no child. Human spirits do not possess objects. They do not ask permission. They do not physically harm. Demons do. The entity had pretended to be a child. It had fed on sympathy. It had waited patiently. Its goal was not the doll. Its goal was Donna. A priest performed an exorcism on the apartment. The activity stopped instantly. The air felt lighter. The pressure lifted. Ed Warren took the doll. On the drive home, the car malfunctioned repeatedly. The brakes failed. The steering locked. At one point, the car nearly veered into oncoming traffic. Ed stopped the vehicle and sprinkled holy water on the doll. The problems stopped immediately. At the Warrens' home, the doll moved again. It appeared in different rooms, standing upright, facing walls, perched on stairs. The Warrens locked it inside a glass case, blessed it, marked it with scripture. Visitors were warned. Some laughed. One visitor tapped on the glass and mocked the doll. He left joking. Hours later, he crashed his motorcycle. He survived. His girlfriend did not. Another visitor challenged the story. He was hospitalized later that day after suffering sudden internal injuries doctors could not explain. The doll was placed in the Warrens' occult museum. Even after Ed's death, Lorraine insisted it never be moved. She said some objects are not cured, they are contained. She claimed Annabelle was still active, still dangerous. Annabelle remains locked away, still smiling, still silent, still waiting. Because evil does not always announce itself with violence. Sometimes it asks permission. Sometimes it pretends to be weak. Sometimes it waits patiently for trust. And sometimes it wears a smile stitched in thread, watching quietly, waiting for the next person who thinks it's just a doll.